How about a sweep, ladies and gentlemen? How about a gosh darn sweep on Ichiro weekend from the Seattle Mariners over the Tampa Bay Rays? What is up, chat room? It's still the ats instead of the names, and it's going to make me upset. Chase, Alex, Robert, Jeff, Lucario, this is a name that, you've been in this stream forever, but the at is never a thing. And it's like, I don't understand sometimes. But hello, Flat Donut Trevor, DVR, George, Connor, spray all over the Rays. Sure, bro. Sure. Chase, what's good? A victory on Sunday. It was looking a little hairy there. It was looking a little hairy there for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. The Mariners offense did something that they kind of do every once in a while, where they score a ton of runs at the beginning of the game, and then they go quiet. And it kind of scared me for a little bit. I think like most people. And then as the game goes on, the Rays do claw back. But some late insurance runs here do give the Mariners a bit of a cushion with a 6-3 victory in this one. Jeff, pay Naylor and Gino. Keep this hype train going with $2. I appreciate that, Jeff. Yeah, dude. I mean, give me Naylor for the rest of the 2020s, please. I'm begging. I am begging on my hands and knees. That stretch today to save JP's air, which probably would have prevented Brian Wu, had he not made the play, to go, the 6 innings. Mr. 6 innings himself, Brian Wu. Listen, needed that play from Josh. I mean, the diving play yesterday. You have the home run in the bottom of the 7th in this one that just gets over the fence on a screaming line drive, similar to the double that he hit the other day. Not as high, but still a great victory. You thought that it was over very early. With the 4 runs in the first before Adrian Hauser even recorded an out. But the Rays do battle back a little bit, scratch and claw. But the Mariners answer back late in this one. 6 runs on 9 hits, 9 strikeouts from the team today. So more than I think the past couple of days. Brian Wu struck out 9 Tampa Bay Rays today, which is awesome. Keep it rolling into Baltimore. Flat Pluto. Appreciate your 5. You best believe the vibes are at an all-time high. Only 1 loss since the trade deadline. You're going up next against the Baltimore Orioles, who are 12 games under 500. They're 3-7 in their last 10. You have an off day for a travel day as well. Team will be rested. Team will be recuperated. Don't let your foot come off the gas, though, because you do need to keep it rolling into Baltimore. But Brian Wu pitched a great game. The little bit of slug that happened against him today, I just think it's the fastball heavy nature of how he pitches. If they're on some of it, he's going to give up some slug. And I mean, Chandler Simpson, a double and a triple in this one. Could it have been just 2 doubles if the ball didn't carry him away from Randy? Maybe. But striking out 9 batters in 6 innings. Great work from Brian Wu. Ties his career high once again. 7 hits, 3 earned. It's not the best Brian Wu start, but it's a very, very good Brian Wu start to get through 6 innings. Caleb Ferguson gives you an inning and 2/3. The second part of that was not as good as the first inning that he pitched, but that's okay. Whoa, what? Mike. My guy, Mike. Hello? What are you doing, brother? What are you doing? All the smooches for Mike. Holy buckets, dude. Oh, my Lord. Wow. 9-1 homestand and first in the wild card and a half game behind Houston, and the Rangers are falling off. Caught the game last night, cried big manly tears during Ichiro's number retirement. Let's friggin' go, boys. We're winning the pennant this year. Let's, pardon my French, fucking go. Mike, with the 50, bro. That's insane. You didn't have to do all that. Big smoochies to Mike. Exactly. Big smooches to Mike. I appreciate you, dog. Much love. Much love. Brash shuts it down at the end of this one to secure the Mariners sweep. Second save in this series for Matt Brash. Matt Brash. Leverage Matt Brash. We all know what he's capable of. I don't know if anyone saw yet, but I selected, well, kind of, my girlfriend. I asked her, Naylor or Woo? And she picked Josh Naylor as the Mariner Mojo Smooches Bro player of the game. Again, the stretch, the insurance solo home run, Josh Naylor, extend the man, is the Smooches Bro player of the game. If I had to give out other star awards, I think Brian Woo does deserve one in this one. Cal with a homer as well probably is part of it. I mean, Gino had a 2 RBI base hit at the beginning of this game. There's some options, maybe even Matt Brash for locking down the save. But again, shout out to Josh Naylor. Shout out to the whole team catching a victory. Jeff, another $2. Yankees let us down today. Absolutely useless. Unfortunate for the American League West desire to end today as the sole possession of the American League West. But Boston is currently losing 6-2 to the Padres in the bottom of the 8th inning. If the Boston Red Sox do lose that game, the Mariners will be in sole possession of Wild Card 1, which is pretty exciting, meaning that there'd be a home series held in the postseason for the Mariners, playoff baseball in Seattle, no matter what. If the Mariners season did end today, and they were the Wild Card 1 hosting the Wild Card 2 team, which would be Boston. But shout out Mike, dude. I can't get over that. $50, dude. Holy hell. Get that division. Listen, Fangraphs odds and percentages have the Mariners as the favorite to win the division, which is crazy that they're in second place by a half a game, and they're still the favorites to take the division right now as it stands. I mean, the team is as complete as it's ever looked in my time really like watching the game of baseball as a Seattle Mariners fan. Obviously, I was a little too young, I think, to fully comprehend 2001. A little too young to comprehend some of those good early 2000s teams, but yeah, this is definitely top to bottom probably the best roster that I've laid witness to. You know what I mean? Naylor's already become your third current favorite player, Cal, Gino, Naylor. Mike, it's easy to love a guy that, one, just doesn't really show a lot of emotion, but like still gets it done. But when he does show the emotion, it like makes it even more so. Appreciate the 5 there. Good top 3. Good top 3. Love a home series in Seattle. Oh yeah, I mean, having playoff baseball in Seattle this year would be, it's not just an ask, it's a demand at this point. But Mojo playoff meetup would feed families. Listen, might go broke depending on how many games we go to during the postseason, depending on how far they go, depending on if they get there. But it sure as hell looks like this team is poised to make the postseason, which would be very, 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 very exciting. Second only to the 95 and 2001 M's. That's fair. That's very, very fair. Naylor's shoe game is great too. I think there's not a single thing about Naylor's game that I do not respect at this point. You know what I mean? Not a single thing. Go all out for the American League One. I mean, Blue Jays are losing right now. I think they just gave up the lead. Oh, no, they got the lead back. I think it's top 9. I don't know if they've scored in the top of the 9th. It's a close game between the Blue Jays and the Dodgers right now. You do have to pass, obviously, the Astros. You will have to pass the Detroit Tigers and the Toronto Blue Jays. You're only 2.5 games back. If the Blue Jays win, you'll be 3 back, but 13 games over 500 for the Seattle Mariners. Feeling good. Feeling really good. What's up, Autumn? Feels great. We'll be at a home game. Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. In 2 weeks, be back watching home. Yes. Yeah, quick little road trip. Maybe not quick. I mean, it's a 9-game road trip. Mariners won't be back in town until the meetup weekend. August 22nd, Friday. First home game for the Mariners over the next, week and a half. And then we have the Mariner Mojo meetup on the 23rd. If you are able to go, and if you do plan on going, it is just going to be bring your own ticket. Buy your own ticket. Buy the cheapest one. Come stand with us in the stairwell. Or you don't have to stand with us the entire time. You can just come hang out for a little bit. Say hi. Say what's up. There'll be some raffles. There'll be some prizes given away once again. But it's always, always a fun time hanging out with you guys during the Mariner Mojo meetup. Always a good time. You're going to be there? Let's go, Felipe. Let's go. You have no other choice other than to say hi to us, because if you're going to hang out with us the entire time, I hope you don't go nonverbal at the function. All right? I hope you don't go nonverbal at the function. So, Autumn, we're going on the 23rd. It is, if I misspoke, it's the 23rd. We're going on Saturday the 23rd. If I misspoke there and I said something different, I apologize. You just stand there awkwardly, and that's okay. Sometimes, ultimately, at the end of the day, all you're doing is just watching a baseball game with some people. That's really it. And when some cool stuff happens, you can get excited, and then you can just go back to watching the game. That's really it. That's all it is. You guys be up in the stairwell again? Yeah, it's just the easiest thing to do, Lucario. Just going to be the easiest thing to do. But Jeff, another 5. Ken Griffey Jr. never had this pitching rotation, had the big unit, and not much behind him. Might be the best roster ever. It's hard to say, like, how many future Hall of Famers were on, like, the teams with Junior, right? Like, Edgar. You're looking at Randy. I mean, A-Rod. They played together with A-Rod. Like, are we looking at, say, is Brian Wu a future Hall of Fame? Like, it's hard to say with the way that the Hall of Fame voting is going, but definitely I feel this roster is one of the most talented within the entire history of the franchise, without a doubt. And yes, there's not a lot of winning ways when you look back at the Mariners franchise as a whole. So I guess it's not a tough bar to beat, but if this is getting in the conversations of best rosters in the organization as a franchise, you know that the team is doing well and is special at the same time. But, oh, you're going to be on the 24th. Got it. Shame. Well, I'm glad that you were able to come out for at least the first one. It's the first year we're doing 2. So you got one of them at least. Has the Mariners offense ever been like this, scoring so many runs off of home runs? I don't know exactly the, like, percentage on certain teams, like, in years past, like how many runs they scored via the home run and stuff like that. But I mean, the Mariners in 2025 certainly do love the long ball, and it makes it easier when Cal Raleigh hits 45 of them, and it's still just the beginning of August. But Mariner Momentum. Mr. Sticky, were you watching the game? As Jay Buhner said momentum, kind of like how you say it in chat and in comments. And then Goldsmith asked, is Mo his first name? And I immediately thought of you. Immediately. The Red Sox lose. The freaking Boston Red Sox lost a game, huh? Mike, anyone who signs up as a member on the stream start a raffle, I will buy them a Mojo meetup ticket. Oh, Mike, that is a lot of... that is a lot of responsibility. So, anyone who wants a free Mojo meetup ticket, courtesy of Mike, all you got to do is be a member, like join as a member on the stream right now, right? Anyone who joins as a member during this stream, I will then take into a random wheel by the end of stream, and then we'll give away a free ticket to the Mojo meetup if you are able to attend, of course. Courtesy of Mike. Mike, $5 and apparently a ticket and 50. Like, Mike is just doing it all. Mike is a man of the people, a man of the channel. We love Mike. 98 team is the 3rd most home runs by a team in a season ever. Interesting. Nosebleed seat, only 1 ticket. Of course, yeah, 1 ticket. That's a 1 ticket special offer, baby. Cousin's wedding's the 23rd. Should I skip it for the Mojo meetup? Some are saying, Sean. Some are saying, Mike, that's crazy. I kind of agree, Ian. I kind of agree. Good vibes only. Mike's a legend. Mike is in fact a legend, bro. I saw someone say, wait, just wait till Gino gets hot. I'm not out on Gino. Had the base hit today. Like, there's going to be the big moments for him. And I mean, he contributed today. Doesn't always have to come in all shapes and sizes. Run scoring opportunity. I mean, Dom Canzone had an RBI base hit late in this game through the right side. It wasn't via a ball hit into a gap. Like, it was just solid. Same thing with Gino. It was a ball back up the middle that got through the infield after Naylor and Julio moved to 2nd and 3rd respectively, and bang. Mike spending money like Stanton right now? I don't know about that one. What are the chances we keep Gino and Naylor? Keeping Gino and Naylor, I think, is not... If you ask me one of them, I'd say like 95%. Both of them, I'd probably put it at like 30. So, I don't love the chances of keeping both of them, but I'd love to keep both of them just because the good vibes that Gino provides and overall just, I mean, the type of player that he is. And if you do re-sign him, and there's Scrub. Oh, sent 5 members. Are we counting this, Mike? Mike, are we counting this? Because we got some gifties to Zach, Gorfy, Brent, Tempt, and Tyler. Hell yeah. Scrub. A scrub? Yes. Thank you for the 5, dude. Much love. I did see Rayleigh hit a grand salami down in Tacoma today. W. What do we do when Robles comes back? Does Canzone have to sit, or does Robles come off the bench? I feel like against tough lefties, Robles will be in there. I think Canzone has earned the starting job for the rest of the season more than likely. But it could be like more split time. It's just a matter of how they view Robles' health. And it won't matter for probably another 3-ish weeks. They shall be counted. Throw Scrub in there as well. W. Appreciate it, Mike. And if they're not here, we can definitely try and reach out to them somehow, some way, like on the community tab or something like that. Or if we have them on Discord. But I think Robles off the bench is a fine thing to do as well. Like, I have no issue with good players being on your bench and not getting as many ABs if it means that another good player in place of them is getting at bats. If Dom is a hot hand by the time that Robles comes back, you're not going to take away at bats from Dom necessarily. But it does allow you to give Julio a day off in center field and have him DH, and you can have Victor go play center. Or, like I said, like against a tough lefty or against a certain matchup, I think it's not unexpected that Robles would play instead of Dom Canzone. Canzone has kind of been a little cold lately. 2 for 4 today with an RBI. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. Won't be able to make it, but my thought was to add to the 5, so cool. W. Thank you, Scrub. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. What's happening when Rayleigh is back? I imagine one of Mastroboni, Dylan Moore, or Donovan Solano will go because they're not going to get rid of Mitch Garver. So one of Dylan Moore, Miles Mastroboni, and Donovan Solano. And of those 3, the most redundant player with Rayleigh, I feel like, is probably Donovan Solano because Rayleigh plays the same position as him and is a reverse splits guy anyways. And you're not going to start Rayleigh really any time in this part of the season unless it's like a really good matchup for him. So, yeah. Mastro has an option. No, he does, which is, I think it would go Solano, Mastroboni, and then Dylan Moore as far as my expectations. But again, it's probably Mastroboni who'll get options instead. I just think Solano, like, what service does Solano provide to you right now other than clubhouse like leadership? Yeah, he got 2 hits the other day when Naylor went down, but I would assume that they'd prefer Rayleigh over Solano if Naylor does need a day off, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think Mastroboni still has an option, so that's where it gets a little bit more tricky, but he's keeping first base warm. Listen, someone's got to do it, right? Someone's got to do it. Imagine the Astros falling to number 1 wildcard spot as soon as tomorrow. Don't think anyone thought the Astros would fall in the division. Who do the Astros play? Are they up against Boston next? Yeah, they got Boston for 3. I mean, Red Sox lost. Maybe they're looking to bounce back a little bit. A pretty pivotal series for them. I mean, holding on to wild card 1, or I mean, they could even chase down the division, I guess. Like, they're 3 back of the Blue Jays. They're not out of the it's not out of the realm of the possibility that the Red Sox could win the American League East either. Yeah, big series between Houston and Boston. Houston won the series against the Yankees. I would prefer Boston to win this series against the Astros instead of the Astros helping the wild card get a little bit softened up, in my opinion. But I think Naylor and Gino actually like playing here too, which is unusual for hitters. Ownership paying both. We can't say anything about them not spending. Not yet. I think if you do, again, if you get both Naylor and Gino on a re-sign, that's awesome. Something went right. The endorsement by extending Cal and his endorsement of the front office by saying, like, you know, made a promise to me to commit and go for it at the deadline. They did. Of course, it's a little early, I'd say, to fully give that praise, but they did, and they have. And I think that that's a welcome sign for maybe things to be a bit more, not as frugal in the offseason in terms of spending. But again, I don't want to count chickens before they hatch here, because we haven't seen it in the past. If this is the time, if this is the moment where things shift in that regard, I will be a very happy camper. But Jeff, appreciate your 5. Mariners are wildcard 1 now. Indeed, they are. Red Sox lost to the Padres. Mariners now hold the highest spot in the American League wildcard race. Very, very exciting. Ohtani up with the bases juiced. Oh, boy. Here it comes. Read that Cal said he wouldn't sign unless they promised to really go for it at the deadline. They did. Yep, that was it Kramer, I think, wrote that article? I think it was Kramer, but W. Dipoto and Hollander. I guess this is a trust the process, but better than Joel Embiid moment. If the Mariners do live up to the expectations that FanGraphs playoff percentages are giving them by making them the favorite to win the division and the best odds in the American League to make it to the World Series, or I guess maybe not make. I think they're the best odds in the American League to win the World Series, but the second best odds to make the World Series behind the Tigers out of the American League. But yeah, crazy stuff. Bottom of 9, LA down 1. Bases are juiced for Shohei Ohtani. Blue Jays have brought in a lefty, Mason Fluharty, to try and preserve this game. Kind of crazy. My ranking for re-signing is Randy, Naylor, and then maybe Gino. If you don't get Naylor next year, then you probably need Gino. Yeah, I think that's fine. Wanting to extend Randy before he is in his last year of arbitration, I think, is a reasonable desire. I'm on Mariners Twitter, as many of you guys know. Extend Arozarena is alive and well. Extend Naylor is alive. Like, there's those 3 guys being Mariners right now and having the potential to have them longer term is pretty awesome. And I think if they do get 2 of those 3, even if they don't get all 3, I think if you extend 2 of those 3, that's a very successful, I guess, like transaction period for the way that you acquired them and being able to extend them as well. Brew Crew is no joke. Yeah, I mean, they've been the best team in baseball for what, 2.5 months now? It seems like 2 months maybe. 73 wins is crazy for them. Love to keep Naylor, need a strong first base. I agree. I think I would rank Naylor as the highest out of those 3 as far as like what I would prefer for a team need. Randy's awesome. Gino's awesome. There's depth at those positions at third and in the corner outfield spot within the organization that I would trust a lot more than any of the depth at first base, which is almost nothing. So I would lean Naylor as my number 1 priority target. But what do I think the deals for each of them would look like? I haven't taken a look at like Spotrac's estimated, like their expectation for Naylor. I would give Naylor 4 years, $80 million, 5 years, $100 million right now. I think I would go. I think Naylor's like anywhere between 18 and 22 million a year on however many years they want to sign him for. I would take. I think that's where I would go. It could be very similar to the Christian Walker contract, but he is much younger, so he probably wants more years. I think 5 years, $100 million, I'd be very okay. And if you have to go up to 110, I think that's also fine. That's 22 million a year, so I would be very okay with that. Gino is probably like a more 2-3 year deal with the AAV, being closer. Yeah, exactly what JM's saying. 23 to 25. Like if it's a 3 year, $75 million contract for Gino, I think that's probably the expectation for him this offseason. But you do have to factor in his age and what that regression may look like as a 35-year-old, I think, going into next year. So he is really, I mean, again, I would, if they gave out those contracts to them right now, I am over the moon happy with what the team could look like going into next year. It doesn't even have to be Gino at third base every day. You can have Ben Williamson be your every day, more often than not, I guess, playing third base every day and have Gino DH. If you're worried about the legs maybe giving out a little bit because he has to play the field, I think having Williamson be up as the third baseman and then Gino DHing is fine. Because you don't have to worry about trying to get Garver at bats. But then that also factors in, like, what do you do with Jorge Polanco? Do you retain him? Because Polanco has an extension. Damn. Ohtani is battling. About that. Jorge Polanco is a free agent, but he has a vesting option, which I think triggers at 450 plate appearances. Ohtani just struck out. He did. He did indeed. Rip. Rip the best player in all of baseball, apparently. Rip the face of the MLB. A conditional mutual contract for $8 million in 2026. It's $8 million if he reaches 550 plate appearances, $6 million if he reaches 450. Jorge Polanco is currently at 372 plate appearances. So I imagine he probably gets to the 450. And that's a $6 million mutual extension, or like another contract for the next season. If he's still here, I think that's great. That probably removes the need for, I guess, re-signing Gino in that same conversation, where you then have Ben Williamson playing third, Cole Young at second, and then Polo DHing. But if he declines or however it works, then you re-sign Gino in that way. You could re-sign Gino and have him play third, and then Ben Williamson is just in minor, like, Tacoma purgatory, if you will. But there's options. I don't know fully if Polanco would want to accept $6 million to stay with Seattle, where he could probably get a larger contract elsewhere if he declined that mutual option. But boo. Boo. The Dodgers don't want to help the Mariners take the best record in the American League. Boo. Boo. Ben could be a Gold Glover? Totally. Ben's defense, I mean, Casey's saying it, is nasty. Ben, if he can just work on lifting the ball in the air a little bit more, not hitting it on the ground, the expected bat profile for Ben Williamson, if it's league average or just below league average, if it's like 95 WRC plus with elite defense, that's still a very, very valuable player to you. And if he doesn't necessarily, if he plays 110 games instead of 140, that's still going to be valuable to you, depending on the way like the rest of how your lineup looks. If they have Gino go play third base for 50 of the games and Ben Williamson plays 110 of them, and then you have Harry Ford DH in the days where Ben Williams isn't, like, there's going to be a lot of options, I think, for this team going forward with some of the guys who are knocking on the door. Mitch Garver's, I don't expect them to pick up his option. So Harry Ford should be the backup catcher next year pretty safely. And how many at-bats is he looking at? Something to consider. Like the outfield of Randy, Julio, and then whoever's in right, if it's Robles, if it's Dom, if it's Rayleigh, like eventually you're going to have to give at-bats to Lazaro Montes at some point next year if he continues to stay on track. There's a lot of moving parts, but right now I'm focused on the 7-game win streak, the wild card one possessing Seattle Mariners, the half game back of the American League West title, Seattle Mariners. Some of the best odds in the American League to, 1, make the postseason, 2, go deep in the postseason, and maybe even win the whole damn thing. Not going to get it super far ahead of myself, but this team certainly is special. 4 WAR just on defense for Ben. He might be the one to do it. I think Gino would take what's offered. His coach in Arizona was pissed off. I did see that, Tom. I did see that. I saw Torrey getting all mad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know fully what the contracts would look like, but again, I think I would give Josh Naylor 5 years, $100 million right now. Easily. 9-1 homestand is massive. Absolutely massive. Huge. Yeah, like, also, I think it's just good banter as well. I agree with Gemma there. I think it's just good banter between a former player and a manager. Kind of a vibe. Let's see. Whoa. That. After this year, you should have a little over $30 million to spend on extensions, assuming they do not raise the payroll. I mean, I feel like if they raise the payroll, that is much more. It's a much different conversation. If it's only $30 million, then like, yeah, you get Naylor and you bring Polo back. Probably is what they would want to do. Would be my best guess, and I think that makes the most sense for team fit. If they raise the payroll of what's expected, or what we've seen out of them, what we've seen them do in the past, I don't think it's unreasonable to get multiple, but payroll has to go up either way. Arbitration increases. Yeah, true. I mean, it's going to continue to rise as inflation and stuff happens, and your arbitration guys continue to get into later years of arbitration, the later stages there. If the Mariners make the postseason too, I mean, considering the revenue boost that you get from that, the revenue boost of the second half where the team is exciting. I mean, they sold out on Saturday, which is not unexpected. The Ichiro speech, the Hall of Fame number, retirement, all that stuff. Not unexpected there, but yeah, I think this should be a as plain as day of a call to action from for the front office to be like, this is what a very good uber competitive baseball team can look like, and what the city of Seattle, how they respond to that. I think it's a no-brainer to me that the revenue that you earn will offset the money that you have to spend in the offseason to make the team that much better. But love the fact that Stanton was still booed when he was introduced. Also love the booing of Tom Brady. Also, who the F is Tom Brady? If you know, you know. Yes. The ever so clear booing of John Stanton whenever it is an option to do so is still well appreciated. Don't get me wrong. Hope it's around 40, 50, if not more. I think that's not an unreasonable expectation, Lucario, if I'm being honest. Yeah, dude. How was the game, Parker? How was the game? Pretty good game. Got a little hairy there for you in the middle innings, but the boys rallied back. How did Tom Brady ever make it into that video? Goats recognizing goats, I guess. The Hit King called them out. Don't waste an opportunity. I mean, the boys were locked in on the top step of the dugout yesterday for sure. O's coming off a series loss to the A's. O's are not a good baseball team. Sold some of their better parts at the deadline too. Like, I guess not better parts, but some of their parts. O'Hearn, Laureano. I don't really want to count Charlie Morton necessarily, but Brian Baker was a former Oriole that we saw in today's game. So there's definitely there's room to continue this 7-game win streak. That's all I'm saying. That is all that I am saying. And the last time we saw the Mariners on the road, they did go 3-4 versus the Angels and the Athletics. That was also around the trade deadline, where guys probably aren't sleeping as much, and there's a lot more movement going on. And also, they hadn't had an off day since the All-Star break had started. Like, they then played 17 games in 17 days with a road trip baked into that. Like, I feel a lot better about the road trip coming up as far as where the team is at rest-wise and mental-wise. Like, you just had a 9-1 homestand, for crying out loud. How could the boys not be fired up to go then take that energy outside of T-Mobile and then go stick it to other teams? It is against Baltimore on Tuesday, an easier matchup to start the road trip, as it does ramp up with then the Mets and then Philadelphia. But keeping the win streak alive and winning a series in Baltimore will be much needed, I think, for that 9-game road trip. Do you have a bigger image of the Smooches Bro emoji? I feel like the plain file of it I'd have to find it. But yeah, I'll have to find it in my after stream. If we make the World Series, Felix better be suited up as a bullpen coach / bench coach. Why not just have Larry Bernandez go throw an inning? Why not? We look great. Think the long inning messed him up. That's probably fair. Yeah, that's that's not an unrealistic thing to say about how the overall pace of the game and the, I guess, woos flow in and off the mound can be affected. Detroit Dojo's been oddly quiet these last 9 games. Ben just doesn't want to make an appearance. Poor guy. Great game, worth the drive. An awful hotel. There you go, Prima. I'm glad it was a good game. Glad it was a good game. Fun to start. Gets a little rocky there in the middle. And then at the end, the boys play a little add-on from Naylor and Dom, and Matt Brash shuts it down. Good series win. Amazing series win. You capping off the homestand with a sweep. Awesome stuff. I mean, obviously, I guess back-to-back sweeps, of course, as well. I mean, that could have been a 10-0 homestand when you really think about it. The Mariners, the only loss in that homestand was to the Rangers in extra innings, where the Mariners had their chances. Could have been a 10-0 homestand. Not to say that I'm dissatisfied with a 9-1 homestand, but I'm just throwing it out there. All right, I'm just throwing it out there, guys. Really think Cal's back? It's hard to argue. I mean, homers in 3 straight games. It is hard to argue with that. Uh-oh. Mike, I might have a problem. Don't get greedy. Okay. Okay, Jeff Passan. Don't get greedy. Okay, Kenny, what's up? Hello, Smooches. Smooches the Josh. They'd pitch Ferg instead of Legumina? Yeah. Yeah. Bro's going to have 50 by next weekend? Ian, how's the sunburn, bro? You good? You doing all right? Hopefully you have some aloe. Gonna have 50 by next weekend. He's averaging 40. If he passes, yeah, I mean, I want him to say, let him pass Salvi on the road. Let him pass Salvi on the road. Let him get to 49, and then he'll hit 50 on Saturday at the meetup. Thoughts? He'll get to 49. He'll hit 4 over the next 9 games. Or he could, so long as if he hits 50 if he hits his 50th on the meetup day, oh man, that would be absolute cinema. Once Cal gets to 49, a huge 800-pound gorilla will be off his shoulders. Passing Salvi certainly is on the back of his mind, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has his eyes set on Junior's record of 56, so going for 57. Where are we at with Logan Evans now? Tons of innings. So Bryce Miller it's been said that he is going to make another rehab start with Tacoma. That was announced today. Circling Seattle Sports, I think, put that out today. Logan Evans is at a total of like 74 and a third, 41 and 2/3. Some quick math. 115 innings on the year, which is the most that he's ever pitched as a professional. I mean, maybe they give him one more start. I don't think they go with Hancock. Troy Taylor was part of the taxi squad, so if they needed to send Evans down, they'd probably have Taylor added to the active roster, to the MLB roster, and then they would have optioned Taylor down to bring up Emerson Hancock to make a start, would be my best guess. But I don't know what the future holds there for Evans the rest of the way. I would have expected his last start to be yesterday. But with Miller making another rehab start, it gets a little bit more confusing. On pace for 61 and 2/3 after 2/3, Jesus. 61.2. Interesting. See, I don't know how do you check the pace of someone for their home run pace? Do you just do home runs through the amount of games and then take that fraction and then divide it by 162? Is that what you do? Is that the idea there? You think Cal gets Judge's record? He's going to have to get scalding hot, I think, for that to be a real shot. I know he's on pace for it. The slump that we saw him go through, if he has another small one like that, I think certainly erases his chances of reaching Judge. It's homers per team game. Okay, cool. Bet. That makes sense. That does make sense. I was like, if you have to do it manually, that makes sense. If there was a like stat on Fangraphs that's like a column or something like that, I thought maybe it'd be there, but Jonathan Diaz filling in. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Current home runs, current games, dimes, 162. Feels right. Feels right. Miller pitched a bullpen today, looked pretty good. He looked pretty happy at one point. Gilbert, Evans, Castillo, and Wu were all in the pen at the same time. It was awesome. Getting the boys all, getting the band back together. Yeah, I don't know. I would have just assumed they would have gone with Miller in one of the games against Baltimore, but I guess not. Who do you think was the best player for the Mariners over this series against the Rays? The best player overall? I mean, Cal hit 3 home runs. Julio had a good series. I feel like it's probably Cal. I mean, throwing out Chandler Simpson as well. It's probably Cal. Like, I don't know. Hit the go-ahead 3-run home run on Friday. Had the 3-run home run yesterday. Had a home run today. Like, it's Cal or Julio. Like, I don't know. The fans, W answer, James. W answer. Right there. I love it. Hot dog vendors too. There you go. Dumper's going to hit 58 to 63 homers. I mean, he's passing Junior's record. If he passes Griffey's record, may as well go for Judge's record. You know what I mean? May as well. Just start selling out for it. Ichiro. There you go. We can go with Ichiro. That's a good point. Valid point. J-Rod's coming on strong. Guys going for 30-30. Dude, I freaking... Second half Julio is such a good player, dude. It's unreal what he's able to accomplish sometimes. If he goes 30-30 again, I mean, he's got the chance to do it pretty safely, I'd say. Needs 7 homers and 8 stolen bases over the last 40 games. I think he's got that in the bag. Where's Colton at? Colton has been away this weekend with his family because it's his dad's birthday. So we can say hi to him really quick, though. We can say hi to Colton. Prima, that guy has been there for a long time doing it. And it's gone kind of viral this weekend of the gentleman wearing a Pride cape and with the "Hey Big Dumper" dump down this guy's megaphone standing next to the religious dude. So yeah, it's gone viral this weekend. It has gone viral. Getting on the road to go home now, going to drive through the mountain back roads. Great game, great crowds, and stream. Parker, drive safe. Appreciate you. Glad you were able to catch a dub. I know it's a pretty long trek for you overall, but appreciate you stopping in and saying what's good, chatting it up with us. Have a safe drive. Have a safe drive. Rural mind cannot comprehend. Does Cal get the MVP? I think if the season ended today, I think so. And I think that all Cal has to do is I think at the end of the season, I think the path for Cal Raleigh to win the MVP will be, so long as he leads the league in home runs and the Mariners either finish as the wild card 1 or win the West. If the Mariners win the West and Cal leads the league in home runs, I think it is without a doubt in my mind that he'll win the MVP. Despite WAR differences, despite WRC plus differences, the voters will undoubtedly recognize that this may not be repeatable for Cal the same way that Judge has shown his ability for repetition as the best overall hitter in the game of baseball. I think they would give it to Cal. And that's kind of that, in my opinion. Team success will be slightly impacted. Like, if the Yankees miss the postseason or they continue this poor skid, I don't think Judge would win it in general. even if Cal gets passed by Schwarber or Otani or something. Real MVP was a concession guy who suggested the barbecue brisket mac and cheese bowl. That man's the GOAT. Colton loves that thing. I think Colton's had that a handful of times at games. He loves it. Loves it. Yankees break off and miss the playoffs. Judge doesn't go back to full form. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what Judge has been doing since he returned from injury. I haven't heard much about it, though, and I don't know if that's because the Yankees have been losing or Judge has been bad. Last 7 games, he's hitting a .182, 296 with a 318 slug. Over the last 15, a 204, 328 with a 429 slug. No stolen bases. Let's see how many steals Cal Raleigh has over the last 15 games. Huh? Let's take a look. Let's take a gander. Cal's got 1 steal. He's better. He's better than Aaron Judge. Cal just hasn't been hitting anything except for home runs. Like, Cal's slash line is not better, aside from maybe the slugging the last 7 days. But overall, like, he's hitting under 200 the last 30 games. So the slug is still, above 400. It's just, will he be able to break out of the slump? And it looks like he has a little bit. Mike sending 5 members. DG, Cal, Skybar, B-Dubbin, and Skills. Hell yeah. Mike, appreciate the 5. Appreciate that. How many speedsters has Judge thrown out, huh? Great question. Probably none. We already knew he was better, but whatever. True. True. No one can stand in right field quite like Judge. He's the best. Dude, I hate the ats, bro. I hate them. They're so annoying, Jimma. I can't do, like, I don't like it. I don't like it, bro. How does Josh Naylor have so many steals you don't get it? He is speed, Thomas. What do you mean? He is genuinely just speed incarnate. I just got word from a bird that I think we're recording the Hit It Here podcast in approximately 10 minutes. So I think that's going to end the stream for me. Mike, I don't have access to the 5 names that Scrub put in chat. And so I will go back through, get those 5 names, and then add them to the wheel, do it off stream, and then reach out to you. Or reach out to that person if you still want to do the thing. If not, no pressure. You don't have to by any means. Right? You don't have to by any means. Just throwing it out there. Ciao. See ya, Prima. Glad you caught a dub. Live pod? Hell no. Nope. Sounds good. Ticket is bought and paid for. So you already purchased it and you just need to give it to someone. Okay. Good to know. I will try and orchestrate. But I do not have access to the 5 that Scrub gifted earlier, I don't think. Like, I can't go past John Phillips saying the highest Naylor has ever been paid is $6.5 million in a year. That's the oldest I can go. Oh, Mike, you literally said ticket has been purchased. 4 messages underneath that. Got it. Got it. Bad streamer. Bad streamer over here. He reads the pitcher, and sometimes it leads to a lot of confusion. There's times he frustrates pitchers so much they walk. Gino, Naylor's just, he's got that IQ, that dog in him. GG. Mariners sweep the Rays, hold possession of the wild card 1 spot at the end of the day here on Sunday. 7 straight W's for the Mariners. Have an off day tomorrow. Check out the Hit It Here podcast coming out at 9 a.m. Monday morning, August 11th, in preparation for the Baltimore Orioles series coming up that starts on the 12th on the road. I appreciate you guys hanging out, chatting it up. Mike, I mean, all the love you've given today, bro. I mean, you're unreal. Jeff with a couple super chats in there. Flat Pluto as well. Scrub with the gifted 5. But Mike, the absolute GOAT of the stream. That $50 super chat. Boy, incredible. But I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to cool down for about 10 minutes because it's getting warm. So have a good night. You too. Go Mariners!